Good morning and Happy New Year on January 6th, 2020. Can you believe it? I'm here today to talk to you about how to start your year with a word, a scripture, a mantra, something you can hang on to for the days ahead when you're less motivated than you may be on the first Monday back after the holidays. So, what my son and I have done for many years is on New Year's Day, we sit down and we work on our vision boards. We use digital, and I'll tell you how I do that. But we look at all of our resolutions from the year before. We check off what worked. We look at what needs work for the future, and we come up with some new things. But it's not just a resolution. So, for example, a common one is weight loss. If you want to lose weight, we put an action plan with it. Like, what are you going to do? Be specific. But we also come up with a word to carry us through the year, just something simple that we can cling to, a scripture, and usually a mantra. So I just kind of want to tell you how we go about picking those words and what you can do to maybe create your own for this year. So typically, I pick a word. Usually I've either prayed about it, or it's something that keeps popping up that I see like in readings or different things, or maybe it's something someone said to me and it just spoke to me. This year I did a silly little Facebook quiz, and that's how I got my word. My word for the year is abide. So on my paper, we just each take a sheet of paper. I wrote the word abide. And then I went and Googled like the Webster Dictionary definition of abide. I pulled up biblical scripture that includes abide. I pulled up synonyms for the word abide. And it's just something that I can remember and I can cling to and I can use going forward throughout the year. And also, I pick my scripture each year. Sometimes I've just opened my Bible up and pointed to something, and I just felt like that was for me. But sometimes I really, if someone has given me a scripture or something that's helped me at some point last year that meant a lot to me, and I'll use that scripture going forward. And so this year I actually have two. I wanted something related to abide, since that was my word. And I got that from a Facebook quiz called, I think it says dayspring.com. And you could probably just go on Facebook and search Word of the Year quiz. But anyway, my scripture is John 15:4. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself, it must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. And so I have that written down by my word abide. And, I just have little reminders of abide. One of the things I do is when I'm taking my shower in the morning and it's all steamy, I just write the word abide in my shower. And it's little reminders everywhere all day that I can't do this alone, that I have to abide in the Lord and stand with Him and lean on Him in all things I do this year, because I am not strong enough alone to do anything really. So that's my word, and that's my scripture related to abide. My other scripture is something that was given to me by a friend who I really respect and look up to. And she, in past years, she went through some trying life situations and came out on the other side. And I have been through some really trying situations that sometimes you just feel like they're never going to end. And she sent me a scripture this year that, is one I've heard my whole life, but she sent it at the right time. I really needed it. And so I started just kind of reading it every day later in 2019. And so I just wanted to add that one to my 2020 as well. And it's from Galatians 6:9, and says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And to me, that just says so many things. I mean, if you want to reap the harvest, you have to plant the seeds. If you want to reap the harvest, you have to not give up. We all get tired. We're all going to grow weary. But this is a reminder to don't grow weary in doing good, because your time is coming. And so that is my second scripture. And you don't have to have two. You don't have to have any. This is just how I do it. My son wanted to keep his scripture. He's kept the same scripture for the past couple years, And I guess it's just something he needs. He's 17. We've been doing this for years. But his is from Philippians, and it is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's one of my favorites because we do the little give me 10 where we, give each other 10 instead of 5, like a high 10, and press into each other's finger. And it's the exact 10 fingers, 10 words. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's how we leave the house every morning. I can't remember where I got that from. Maybe Lisa Turkhurst. I'm not real sure. But we've been doing that for years. And so he chose that as his scripture again this year. And a mantra. A mantra can be anything. A mantra can be a line from your favorite song. A mantra can be a quote you love. It can be a line from a book. It can be scripture. It can be something your grandmother always said. It can be anything, just something simple. An example of mine a few years ago was thrive and not survive. I felt like I'd just been surviving. And so these are just little short nuggets that stick with you throughout the year because days are coming that are going to be hard. You're going to be less motivated in July than you are today. I mean, things just happen and we just need something to anchor onto. So I find if I have a word, a scripture, and a mantra, I'm pretty good. And the other thing I like to do is a vision board. And I used to do old-fashioned, cardboard with like poster paper and cutouts from a magazine. And then I went digital. And I like that because you can add music to it. And I'm a huge music person. And you can change it out real easily. And I downloaded the free app. It's HHVB. It stands for Hay House Vision Board. And you can just add your pictures. They can be your own personal pictures. They can be images from, the internet. And it's just a vision. It's something for you to set your sights on. It's goals for you to work towards. And I always tell my son, these are to inspire us. They're to help us see it. But we have to feel it. And we have to take action to make it happen. So, for example, he wanted to run a 5K last year. And so we cut out pictures of 5Ks, but I also put a picture of himself on there running. And, in his goals, his action plan was that he was going to run so many days a week. And he was able to do his 5K in September. So it's just like a blueprint. If you're building a house, you have to have something to look at to know where you're going. And that's what a vision board is for us. And I like to do the Hay House Vision Board. So as you start into your 2020, don't go it alone. You need friends. For me, I need the Lord. I need a word. I need a scripture. I need a mantra. And I need something to look at and inspire me and keep me going. So whatever it is for you, I pray that you all have a great 2020 and you find your heart's desire and y'all be well.